Hello everyone, what's up? Nate here again. Welcome to another indie game showcase on the channel. This video will... This is bad. This is really bad. I'm going to be playing Turn Out the Lights, and it is a text-based game, and I do not know if it's horror-centric or not. It feels a bit, maybe existential, just based on the graphics and everything. I will have a link for this game for you to play it for yourself in the description, as always. The other thing I do want to say is thank you so much for just being here. I really do appreciate you taking the time and taking the interest in what I do. So without any other further interruptions or me hopefully not fumbling over my words, let's go ahead and jump straight in. Again, this is all strictly text-based. I have no idea what the actual game is. I downloaded a HTML page that opens in Google, so we'll just go for it. One. Okay. What is your name? Let's put Nate. Wake up. An alarm. You open your eyes to a familiar ceiling in familiar sheets. The lights turn automatically as the mainframe detects you rising out of the natural rhythms of sleep. This is sick. This is super sick already. This is so cool. Look at this art style. It's so cool too. Elsewhere in your cabin, the coffee begins brewing. The water heater clacks and clanks as it readies itself for your shower and shave, and the noise shuts itself off. Good morning, Nate. Morning, Red, you say. You get a good night's sleep? Myself out for a full 10 seconds. I feel good as new. Came out of my mother's code. Dude, this is cool. I love stuff like this. Your kind doesn't come in boxes anymore, do they? There's a soft chime. The water's ready. Bro, this is sick. This is... I keep saying the same word, but... This is rad. In the shower, you think about all the stuff you've done here and out at the edge of the known universe and all that you have left to do. Red, how long have I been here? 5 years, 6 days, and 43 minutes. You think about the decision you made those years ago and how excited you were to make it. The company was sending you and a class of your peers out among the stars. You were the best, the hardest, the most daring, chosen as much for your hardiness and skills as for your psychological stability. Now you realize they only cared about how good you were at being alone. There were 65 of you. You knew a couple of them because you'd been in some of the same trainings lessons given in the old survival skills, the same ones the explorers that finally conquered the Arctic used. Turns out that cold isn't all that different from the bone-deep chill of outer space. Look at this art. Sorry, I'm like getting my water. This is so cool. And then, as a graduation, you were loaded into a ship and shot off into the void. I said void, I mean void. There wasn't a ceremony, really. The company gave you a plaque, which you couldn't bring because of the ship's weight requirements, and a commendation saying that you were the latest link in the chain of humans who had braved and then tamed off the wilderness. They also put a few $1,000s in an account they opened in your name, which they assured you would be capably managed and which would grow accordingly to the law of compound interest, because, as they reminded you, you were going so far that time itself would pass faster on Earth than it would for you out there in the stars. Is it like an optical illusion that I'm seeing the stars move in the background? I think it is, because all the dots. You thought you knew what you were getting into, that you, a young person without a family, could bear to leave the Earth for good and know that nobody would remember you past the plaque on the company's wall. You didn't think it would be forever, and it wasn't. The descendants of men who shot you into space had sent a message through Red. Ruby, you correct yourself, Ruby is the software's name, and said it was time to come in from the cold. Another time sounds then, and the water shuts off. Oh. As you sip your coffee, Red reminds you of the items you have left on your checklist. You have to shut down the mining robots, scrap the rover for parts, and power down the main solar generator. You have enough in batteries to last you 2 days, the last you or anyone else will spend on Tarsus 9. right? Or did they said IX? Okay. Which do I want to do? Let's shut. Yeah, let's shut down the mining robots first. These were what brought with this. These were what brought. These were what you brought with you instead of the plaque. A fleet of 6 small enough to fit into one manned shuttle, which acted as one even though they always seemed to have distinct personalities. Lately, they'd been roving along the bottom of the canyon, about a mile away, looking for any useful minerals. They hadn't found much, which is a part of the reason the company was bringing you home. You finish your coffee, walk into the wardrobe, and put on your suit. The suit is a funny thing. It's light, body contoured, and feels breathable somehow. It's a marvel of engineering, proof that with the right tools, any environment can sustain life. Out in the front of the cabin you built from the pieces of your ship, you get on your bicycle. You've always found it a little astonishing that this, some of the oldest technology humans came up with, can exist alongside something as complicated as your suit. Yeah, that's true. The company's thinking, on the other hand, was that bicycles were efficient, rugged, easy to fix, and powered by a person, which obviates the need to carry extra fuel. That's true. It has a solar pedal assist, which you make liberal use of to get to the canyon. Rad tags along in its little mechanical dog body. Sick. You're riding across the blasted landscape. It's craggy and rough, the kind of place that's been created by the harshness of the void. Unfiltered solar radiation has left it devoid of life, and it is pelted and pocketed by smaller debris that flies by. Sometimes on these rides you listen to music, only the stuff you brought with you. Today you're listening to classical music. Its expressiveness is always soothing. That's so sick. I love that. It's a nice day, isn't it? Yes, you reply. It's always nice here because there's no atmosphere. That rhymes. Thank you for noticing, Red. But what's the reason? Why do we call me Red? You remind me of someone I knew once. You say. She had red hair, and I miss her. I don't have hair, and I am not biologically female. It's your personality. I have a personality? Of course you do. Of course you do, you say again to the little dog. Everyone does. You're real to me. At the canyon, you see the robots swarming, bee-like and determined. They found a deposit of something, maybe even a vein, but it didn't matter now. The order had come down. One by one, you call the bots over, you'd given them names, and now you recite them. Blinky? Pinky? Are we doing a Pac-Man reference? Are you serious? Inky? Spooky? Spunky? Clyde. The message from the company said the Starnuts program, the one which had sent you all this way, was being shuttered because it had lacked usable developments, which is to say it wasn't ultimately profitable. In the eyes of the company, you had all failed. You all had failed. They kind of look like guitar pedals from this angle. I may not be editing the parts where I'm drinking water, so... sorry. Though the terms were always a little unclear, the goal was to make the company money in a handful of ways. One group of Starnuts was tasked with finding and terraforming new planets for the company to exploit. Another was given the task of finding intelligent life to communicate and trade with. The third was sent to figure out which asteroid belts might be lucrative to mine. You're part of the third group. Your asteroid belt, Tarsus, had been deemed promising because a probe had detected rare ores, which what the probe couldn't do was find and mine them. You've moved from asteroid to asteroid as the name you've given it suggests. Tarsus IX is your ninth stop, and you haven't found much. Not nearly enough to appease the company in any case. But you haven't heard much from them. Brett has been sending regular reports of your progress, but that communication mostly goes one way. Data is expensive at the acid end of space. 2. Wake up. Red's dog body sits in a corner, fully charged, ready for the day. Before we're out of juice. What's on the docket for today? Also, coffee's ready. The generator or the rover? I think the rover, because I feel like the generator is something you would want to turn off last, just given the fact that that's like your electricity source. So if something delays you leaving for any situation, you at least have more power than if you were to do the generator first and then do the rover the next day. You at least have... that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the rover. You built the rover out of the parts of your ship, same as the cabin. The design was intentional. The company named them Modular Space Transportation Systems, but you just called them turtles. You carry your home on your back. You finish your coffee and put on your suit, then call the rover and step outside. The dog gets up and follows you. You see the rover traveling over blasted crags and outcroppings. Tarsus 9 is a wasteland and an unlivable rock tumbling through the void. The rover pulls up in front of you, dog-like, and for a brief moment you think about how many times you've done this before. Dude, that voice is so cool. I hope it's like... hope you can hear it. You don't reply. You've already powered down the rover and have begun removing its wheels. But something's wrong, you notice. The battery compartment is damaged and bulging. It might have been scrapped sometime during its travels. That's the last thing you notice before it explodes. Nate, wake up. Red is resting on your chest. You notice distantly. It's as though your body belongs to someone else. Oh, God. Your suit is very damaged. You need to get out of here. Wake up. What? You're outside, but you're awake now. Red, you there? How long was I out? You ache. It's hard to focus your eyes and your ears are ringing. Red produces a bark, which you hear through your helmet. You have a concussion. 6 hours? How much time do we have left? Not enough. 4 hours and 3 minutes. Can I make it? Oh. I don't know. As you start disassembling your cabin, you think back to the last time you saw her, the woman with the red hair, your mother. Never really knew her, and the last time you saw her, you said goodbye, and someone pulled you out of the room. They told you she died a little after you left. You were young enough that the memory is getting hazy, and it's hard to remember past it. Oh, don't tell me he, lost his memory. What happened before? After it was easy. You grew up in a home, and you returned 18, joined the company. That was there they drew from anyway. All the Star Knights you heard were recruited from group homes across the country. How much time? 3 hours. The shuttle was half rebuilt, and your suit is starting to give way. The display is glitching, and the speakers don't seem to work right. You have a splitting headache, but you keep working. There's nothing waiting for you at home, not really, but dying on a desolate rock in space doesn't feel right either. By now, the shuttle is mostly complete. 1 hour. You don't reply. The dog waits nearby. What are my odds, Red? 9%? Okay, you think. The last two things you need are a solar sail and the craft's wheels, the generator and the rover. You can attempt to take off without either of them, but it means the chances of you surviving will drop dramatically. On the other hand, you might die trying to get them. Do you, or do you just take off? Oh, this is good. It didn't take much, but I'm in. This is great. I love this so much. Solar sail and the craft's wheels. You might die just trying to get them. I think we do the generator. Yeah, I think the generator is really important. Because if we take off, we're going to run out of power. The rover is, not that useful. Because, couldn't we theoretically at least, not die? Because we'll, have the rover. The wheels, right? We don't need the wheels, I think. I think we need the sail. That's the most important thing. So let's hit this. The solar sail is huge and light, and while it's easy to roll up, it's still on the mountain. Oh, crap. Getting it will be difficult. Red, you ask, can I do this? Maybe. Oh, my God. Okay, because Okay, so we got to think about this. If we do all this and not take it, solar sail, are we just gonna get stuck stranded? Wouldn't we eventually just like not make it? Let's go for it. Oh, you come out of what feels like a trance at the top of the mountain. You realize you're tired. Your body needed rest. You realize you don't know how long you've been staring at the view. How much time do I have, Red? I don't want to click it, dude. Oh, not enough. The gauge ticks down. The stars feel nearer than ever. And they're so beautiful behind a sky with no atmosphere. Oh, man, this is cool. Do we load? I think we load. I'm getting notifications. Let's load chapter 3. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a concussion. Yeah. This is so cool. One hour. 9%. But I think the answer is just take off. Because the chances of my chances of surviving, that means 91%. I'm going to lose it. Let's just do the rover. I'm really curious. The rover sits fully. Yeah. I guess that's true, right? The rover sits fully assembled nearby. The last place you saw it, it's so assembled it's hard. It hurts to look at because now you have to take it apart. Thinking straight is hard, but you know you have a simple choice because there's no third option. Disassemble the rover or don't. The odds aren't in your favor. Let's see. I'm getting an error. And now somehow it's in pieces. You're moving slowly but surely. The fugue. Guys, how much time do I have? I'm getting errors now. This sucks. 29 minutes. You run for the items you need and you manage to stagger back to your ship with them. It's time to go. Your chances of survival are 75%. You don't have the generator, but you know your shuttle has certain tolerance for mechanical failures. You know you can make it. Well, that would have been nice to know. You decide to risk it, risk everything. Red lights the button up for launch. The last thing you remember is everything fading to black. You've come 2 hours later. Did we make it, Red? Yeah. You see the dog's eyes glowing in the corner watching over you, making sure you're safe. As you drift through the unknowable abyss that surrounds you, the only thing alive for at least a light year you think about... The only alive thing for at least a light year, you think about your mother. You're not thinking about the past, not really. You're thinking about what it might mean to be home. Red, can you do me a favor? Anything. Turn out the lights, would you? That's cool. I wonder if I can load up the God, this was so cool. I wonder if I could load up that other option. Yeah, let's load chapter 3. Or just skip through all this, sorry. I always like seeing this. I want to see what happens if I do nothing. See, this game got me. I'm like so intrigued by it. I want to know the other outcomes. This is so cool. I can't get over it. Take off. You decided to just risk it. Taking off. This is your last chance, yes or no? Yes. You decide to risk it. To risk everything. Red lights, the button up for launch. The last thing you remember is everything fading to black. You come 2 hours later. Did we make it? Yes. Okay, it's the same ending. Okay, so it's the same outcome. So I would have... If it was me, I would be gone. I wouldn't have survived. This is really sick, though. Again, this is called Turn Out the Lights. This was great. This reminds me of this mobile game called Lifeline, I believe. It's this game where you like are in contact with an astronaut and you're trying to help him survive. So you like it's timed. So like every couple hours or like after a day, the app will like send you like a pseudo text message, but it's through the game, and then you like respond and figure out new things and you make choices like that. This was really cool. I'm speechless. This is awesome. Great job. So I gotta leave the credits here, just out of respect. Bijan Stephen or Bijan Stephen, developed by Brian Hulcher, art by James Fitzgerald. James, you killed it. Sound by Stella, Emmett, and Mike Dvorscak. Dvorscak? Yeah, probably Dvorscak. Awesome sound. The music is amazing. This is fantastic. I love this so much. I can't wait to gush about this in my indie game roundup whenever that comes out. Well, that's been Turn Out the Lights. I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was fun for you, and feel free to subscribe, like the video if you really did enjoy it. Feel free to suggest me anything as well. I do have a Discord, and I do want to get like a little community going. I'll leave the link to that as well. And if you want to follow me on social media, where I do post like little vignettes, behind the scenes, little kind of like updates before things come out, so you at least kind of can see what's going on. I'm at What's Up Nate on Twitter and Instagram. A little more personal on Twitter, but Instagram's just more of a fun thing. All right, well, you guys will have a great one. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. God, that was so good.